Thank you for tuning in to the Purple 8 Society YouTube channel, my own mini 4D university to help you educate yourself on the care of the soul and give you some joy in the form of amazing playlists. I've got music playlists, lectures, audiobook playlists. I'm working on a tarot education playlist as we speak, and I'll be adding so many more. So when you have some free time and you want to fill it with things to make you better and raise your frequency, I got you. After the video, I'm also going to tell you about my tarot education podcast for those of you who are interested. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I look forward to doing every Sunday night. And, it's good stuff. If it's not for you, that's fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm perfectly fine with that, which leads us into the title of this video, which is called How to Care Less: What People Think About You. And so, as I frequently say in my tarot education podcast, the goal of the process isn't about getting this thing perfect. We will never stop completely caring about what other people, think about us, but we can care much less. And just caring less can be immensely transformative. So here are the 4 ideas that help me worry less about being validated by people that I've developed over time. Just being someone who was younger, who really, really cared a lot about the opinions of others. Just how I kind of overcame that. So number 1, remember that other people's opinions are about them, not you. Granted, the things that we do and say have influence. They might even stir up various watercolors in people's minds, but ultimately, the art in a person's mind is painted by them. Think about a set of twins who grow up in the same house with the same parents. They went to the same schools, play the same sports, and even work at the same pizzeria. Notice that they still have different personalities and they see the world just as differently. People are like little computers, and our minds are programmed by so many things. Our DNA, our experiences, our traumas, our upbringing, our family and community, our body chemistry, and our brain wiring, our purposes, our passions, and so many other things make up how our subconscious is programmed. And our subconscious projects our worldview. Just like a movie, our subconscious projects the images that we see, and everyone's movie is different. Because of this, everyone is going to have their own individual opinions of everything, including us, based on that subconscious programming. Trying to control the projections everyone has about us is exhausting and pointless. It's too much unnecessary responsibility that no one should have to feel obligated to resolve. Their opinions are their business, their programs, their responsibility. And what they think about everyone else is conjured up in their own minds and expressed out of their mouths. It's just none of your business. I get that as social creatures, the better the thoughts people have about us, the easier life is for us most times. But obsessing over how they view our every step and going above and beyond for their validation just doesn't serve us. And as a matter of fact, it actually has an adverse effect. Emotional neediness and thirst to be accepted is actually a repellent. On a subconscious level, people actually lose respect for people who don't appear to stand on their own sense of self or have their own sense of autonomy or sovereignty. On top of that, if a manipulator or narcissist is in the picture, the person who needs that validation often becomes the target or the supply of that abuse and manipulation. My grandfather used to say, do good and trust God. It's to me a much simpler way of living, because that philosophy says that our responsibility is just to make good decisions, and that the path towards success and happiness is guided by the divine, not the people we coax into liking us. Number 2, care less about what people think about you and more how they feel around you. The difference is very subtle. Obsessing over everyone's thoughts is a bit neurotic. I know that's probably hard to hear. And like I said before, we're all guilty of it to one degree or another. But when we fall into that trap, it's because we're operating in a place of insecurity. When we're insecure and trying to get people to like us, the things we do to get their approval are sleight of hand manipulation tactics. And therefore, it's really not about them. Any gift we give them or compliment or hype isn't really for them. It's not really pure. We're acting and we're actually doing these things to get something for ourselves with little concern for them, as kind as it seems on the surface. And when instead we care about how people feel around us, the words, actions, and gift we offer them are more altruistic. It means that we are offering something to them that's purely for them. We practice being present when they speak instead of ignoring their words to focus on saying and pressing things. We offer words of support and gifts that are truly beneficial to them rather than trying to get them to see us in a favorable light. Caring about how people feel around us starts from an entirely different point of view. In order to offer someone positive vibrations, we have to be in the right vibration ourselves. We have to be high on life and in a place of self-acceptance for that to be our perspective in the first place. In many cases, there's a preparation process that takes place, a healing phase of sorts that transcends into this kind of thinking. And it's those on the path to healing and inner wellness that look at that world or their world from a vibrational standpoint. They've decided that pure love and light are non-negotiables. So when you get to the point where consciousness is your priority and then head into the shadows to heal, you may even discover the reason you feel you need other people's approval in the first place. You will start to discover the spiritual you or the divine you, the you that you really are, and you'll discover how worthy you really are and won't even need external representation as proof. You'll begin walking into social interactions less phased. You'll be more focused on the good vibes. You'll be more magnetic. And when you leave, you'll need less recovery time to overanalyze whether or not the people accepted you. You walked in fully accepting yourself and leaving much the same, and you'll leave much the same. And that's all that mattered. Everyone got the vibrational benefit of that. Number 3, realize that you're already worthy. I often wonder how much less anxiety people would have if they knew who they were as divine souls or what they were as divine souls. When I personally began discovering what I was, the concern with trying to prove my worth started to melt dramatically. What we are not is our bodies. We're not our thoughts. We're not our mistakes. We're not our past. We're not our ideas. We're not our actions, our habits, or our flaws. What we are is much less defined than that. As a matter of fact, we're just the observer of this life experience. We are just inside a vehicle called a body, observing the universe through our senses. Our souls, who we really are, don't have physical form or shape. It simply animates our bodies. The word spirit comes from the Latin word espiritus, meaning breath, or espiritus, meaning breath. And the breath that flows through us keeps us connected to our body. But when we're tired of existing in this body, and this experience in this dimension will cease breathing and the soul will move on. That means we aren't form at all. We are the formless. We are the empty space in between all things, localizing ourselves in physical form. Our only power is in our ability to observe and choose. Now imagine thinking empty space is unworthy. It just kind of sounds absurd to me. Empty space just is. You just are. You are God breathing its spirit inside of a life experience so that it can observe from different points of view. So how is it that you are unworthy? Oh yeah, because you're not. Thank you. And number 4, stop comparing yourself to other people. This one is really, really hard. And this is the real reason why I think we care so much about other people's opinions. We look at everyone else's life and we wonder why they look this way or why they have success, which is subjective, or why they seem to have favor. But you remember above, earlier where we discussed that we're already worthy. What other people have going on doesn't mean they're better than us. They might be better at a task or better at a certain strategy, but they don't outworthy us. That's the part you got to remember. Sure, it would feel better if we had it going on in ways that maybe right now we do or don't. It would be great if we had the money or the friendships or the talents that other people did. But if we're in a tough spot or struggling to get ahead in some way, it's because there are things we just don't understand yet, not some eternal flaw. Furthermore, if we're trying really hard to improve and be a better person, and someone is judging us for not being further along, are they really someone whose validation we want do we really want that validation anyway? We're not called to be perfect because that's impossible and it's not even rational. Nobody's success or plight makes them superior or inferior to anyone else. You failing in any area means you're trying. You struggling in any area means you're trying. You striving to get somewhere in life, as hard and challenging as that may be, again, means you're trying. Even in times where you're tired, depressed, worn out, and need a break from trying for a while, you are still worthy. And the success you see someone else experiencing in career, relationships, lifestyle, whatever, it's likely to have come out of the depths of struggle that you aren't privy to. It's like the happy clown mask that when you lower it, it reveals that sorrowful face, the face of sadness. There are traumas along the path to a person's greatness that they wouldn't wish on their worst enemy. And it's not about the end game. It's only about the present moment and the decisions we make therein. The validation of someone else won't make or break your fight to win. Can someone else's support and understanding be of benefit? Can someone else's words of affirmation offer some hope? Well, hell yes to all of that. But just remember that you're not responsible for editing the way anyone thinks about you. You don't control it or own it. And you're not in it and can't fix it. If you do good, trust God, and keep your vibrations all the way up, a funny little irony will happen without even trying to not be concerned about it. The self-loving and self-respecting paradigm will make you magnetic to people, the right people who like you and want to be connected to you by default. So, that's how I look at it. Those thoughts, those 4 little pillars of thoughts that came to me over time. It's not always perfect. Sometimes we do find ourselves into situations where I find myself, I'm kind of concerned about the perceptions of other people. That's natural. It's not going to completely go away. But when we can minimize them through these steps, through these points, through these very simple philosophies, these simple principles, just these things will help us to minimize that a great deal. That's all I'm really trying to say. So again, I do weekly readings for members of my exclusive $7 a month Inner Forward Tarot Education podcast. I just moved my podcast to Substack after being a practitioner for 13 years and an educator on this subject for 6. So every Sunday night, my members get access to my long form 10-card readings from really 4 really powerful decks where we focus on detoxifying the personality and analyzing the subconscious blocks that are often in our way. And it's an in-depth discussion on things like ancient religion, global spirituality, energy clearing, emotional freedom, quantum physics, and self-esteem in general, things I'm really passionate about in the first place. And we decode aspects of series and movies and reality TV, music, art, fairy tales, all the things that could mirror aspects of the tarot so you can see it in real life examples of the hermetic principles of the cards in action. We also have a book club. We only read books that enhance our personal power and build up our inner magic. And you'll access that in the podcast too. So in essence, the Inner Forward Tarot podcast, education podcast, is all about waking up the divine inside of us so that it can take over and run things right. And none of it includes predicting the future, reading anyone's mind, conjuring up anything, or manipulating anybody. So if you're interested in all that tarot education and all the shadow work we're doing in our personal growth book club for only $7 a month, click the link in the description box below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and find a playlist that is good for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.